Bill Hitchcock. We got a fantastic program for you. Here we are mid-March and things are changing. We're going to talk about that. A lot of great fishing stuff that's going on. This bluefin tuna still being caught. Drum, I don't want to call it a drum blitz, but the Outer Banks has been catching a lot of drum. Speckled trout still being caught on the inland waters, inside waters. Big bluefish off of Cape Fear. We'll get specific into that, but and also seawater surface temperatures. Massive changes. You're going to love what you're about to see with these seawater surface temperatures when we get into it. But first, before we get on with the program, our last program was about State Senate Bill 220, and let me get my eyeballs, that talked about it would make launching a boat from public right-of-ways a Class 3 misdemeanor. What? So we did a whole show on it, and I wanted to read the title of the bill, which causes the follow-up that I did. The title of the bill is an act to revise the laws pertaining to trespass upon property to hunt, fish, or trap as recommended by the Wildlife Resources Commission. So this whole bill seemed to be motivated by the Wildlife Resources Commission. So I reached out to them. Said, hey, what's going on here? Who can I speak to the Wildlife Resources Commission to find out about this bill? Here is the official response that I got from the Wildlife Resources Commission in regards to SB 220, that in the name of the bill itself as recommended by the Wildlife Resources Commission. They said, the agency did provide recommendations to the legislature to address trespassing issues. However, the bill that was filed is not entirely reflective of our recommendations. We are in conversation with bill sponsors and look forward to working with them moving forward. I followed up with another email. They didn't respond to that. It's like, who? Who are we talking about? There are actually, the entity is the Wildlife Resources Commission, but who are the bodies? What was the problem? What was the motivation? They didn't respond back to that. All right, so if I get an update about SB 220, I'll let you know if it's going to be a Class 3 misdemeanor to launch your boat from a public right-of-way to public waters. Interesting scenario. All right, let's get on to the happy, joy stuff. Bluefin tuna. I wanted to show the bluefin tuna activity is still hot and heavy. It's going to go bye-bye here real soon. It's just the time of year for it. But I wanted to show you just this one bluefin tuna picture from the Outer Banks. It's from Ocean's East Bait and Tackle out of Nags Head. They say, congratulations, Captain Andy at Fish Good Times on your 200th bluefin tuna for the season. God almighty. I do not recall such a season of bluefin that we've had this past year in terms of numbers and in terms of size. I've heard of 800, 900, and 1,000-pound plus bluefin tuna. Now, as you may recall, I used to be the coordinator for the Bluefin Tuna Conservation Series a few years back. Even then, I did not see the type of activity or catches that we've had this year. So congratulations to those guys. They did make a comment that says some guys make it look easy. The Magic Tails and Joe Shoots sure do help. Now, the Joe Shoots, you may recall, we did a show with him a couple, 3 weeks back. Joe makes these lures. His company makes lures for just this very thing, not only bluefin tuna, but other offshore fish. So get up with Captain Joe Shoot. He's in Atlantic Beach at the Cape Lookout Fly Shop. So get up with Joe to find out more about lures to help you catch some big fish. Now, let's move on down to Ocracoke. I probably shouldn't be doing what I'm doing, but I am. All right, there we go. Look at that. This is off of Ocracoke Island. That is Sandy Wadlin. Landed a nice red drum yesterday from me doing the show on Ocracoke's Ramp 72 mullet from Tradewinds Bait and Tackle. And Tradewind Bait and Tackle is where I got all these pictures. The next picture is going to be, maybe I shouldn't, again, shoot. Now that's a native Ocracoker, evidently. Juliet Jordan of Ocracoke pulled her first red drum from the surf off of South Point. That's down there towards Ocracoke Inlet. And then Brian Warren, this will probably be the last picture I'm doing here. Look at that big mama jamma. Brian Warren brought in this spectacular 47-inch red drum this afternoon from the surf off of Ocracoke. So congratulations to those folks. I'm just going to leave that picture up as I move forward. Now, I didn't get any reports from the Crystal Coast area. I did want to give you a heads up that the Bogue Inlet Pier here on Bogue Banks down in Emerald Isle is opening up this weekend, March 14, 15, whatever this weekend is. They will be open for the season. I did want to skip down to the frying pan. Well, heck with it, Bill. Go on and show the pictures. I got the pictures. Oh, before I do that, hang on. Ha! Captain Stacy. It's a head boat out of Atlantic Beach. You can give them a call. This is a fantastic operation, been around forever. They had their first trip of the season a couple of days back. Look what they saw when they went out fishing. Whales, and it wasn't only whales, but it was also, they had a very successful bottom fishing trip, as you can see by the video that I'm rolling on top of here. So the folks had a lot of fun going and seeing big old whales. Well, that's a little whale. I'm not really a whale expert and not an expert on anything fish, to be quite honest with you. But that was a lot of fun to see some whales in a successful trip. Now, this picture that you're seeing here, I love this. John Dunning, he says, biggest bluefish I've caught. He said he didn't weigh it, but it pulled a lot of line. Thought it was a small amberjack until we got to the boat. Fun stuff. He's out at Frying Pan Towers, which is out of Cape Fear. The mouth of Cape Fear is approximately 34, 35 miles out of the mouth of Cape Fear, heading out southeast. You can actually stay there, by the way, in the Frying Pan Towers. That's cool. So you can stay there at Frying Pan Towers. You just get up with the fine folks there, and I'll put the coordinates up for all of that kind of stuff. Now, this is what I want to really get into to show you. Sea surface temperatures. And I'll put this up full screen as I'm talking, but there's several things I wanted to point out. One, look out in the Gulf Stream. You'll see in the Gulf Stream, the water temperatures are around 72, 74 degrees. If you look up from Oregon Inlet north, it's around 45 to 50 degrees. Now that was blue water during the wintertime, wrapped all the way around Hatteras, the point of Hatteras, and went down towards Ocracoke. It is now migrating up north. It's the time of year for it. If you look in Pamlico Sound, you see 54 to 56 degrees. And if you look on the inside of the 100 fathom drop, going out there around 20 fathoms, you'll see 64 to 66 degrees. Now, these are just kind of average temperatures. I don't want anybody, no, I was at that spot and it was 65 degrees. Well, this is just kind of average temperatures. But the two things I want to point out to you, as I've been talking about all winter long, from the Point of Hatteras down to Cape Lookout, is the warmest waters during the winter, December, January, February, going into March. You can see that. But if you look in front of Bogue Banks, if you look in front of Shackleford Banks and Bogue Banks, do you see that warm water that's sneaking on in, that 64, 66 degree water? Every year, usually in April, usually around the second or third week in April, the beach water temperatures will just jump 5 to 7, 8 degrees all of a sudden. Well, you're seeing it about to happen. You're seeing that warm water eking on in towards the Bogue Banks area. Now, those arrows, look very closely. Those arrows those three different sets of arrows I have, what they are pointing out are warm water eddies. Warm water eddies rotate counterclockwise. And if you can see, hopefully you can, it looks like a hook. It's hooking on in. It's going counterclockwise. And conversely, cold water eddies go the other way. What's interesting about these is the divergent seawater surface temperatures, and it shows currents. And if you find weed lines, that's where they are on these warm water or cold water eddies. So it's a very interesting time of year, and these warm water eddies and cold water eddies will reach all the way to the beach sometime. And so that's why you'll get a quite divergent water temperatures. So there you go. We got in between like almost a 30-degree water temperature differential off the coast of North Carolina, which means, and it's also self-evident why all of those bluefin tunas are being caught up where? Outer Banks, the Oregon Inlet Hatters crowd working on north there. That's indicative of where the bluefin tunas would be. Well, mid-March, things are getting ready to happen. Send me your fishing reports. Let me know when you're of a bait and tackle shop or a pier or whatever is opening up. Also let me know fishing tournaments or club meetings, things of that nature. Just email me, billhitchcock@mail.com, billhitchcock@mail.com. Love to get the information out to you. Until then, looks like the weather is still going to be like in the 60s along the coast of North Carolina. Let's just hope it doesn't rain and hope it doesn't blow real hard. Until next time, I'm Bill Hitchcock. I'll see you.
Post your questions, comments, and concerns here on YouTube or email them directly to Bill Hitchcock at this address.